So it turns out that the Spider-Man versus Predator crossover wasn't the only crossover that got an update. If you guys remember, a few months back, I talked about the announcement of a Justice League Sonic crossover. Which, by the way, we have so many crossovers coming out in 2025, and these, let me tell you the ones that we know of so far. We have this, Sonic and Justice League, or as it's also being called, Sonic DC Universe. We have the Space Ghost Johnny Quest crossover. We have a one-shot of a Thundercats Powerpuff Girls crossover. We have two Godzilla crossovers with Godzilla vs. Marvel and Justice League vs. Godzilla vs. Kong 2. We have Mars Attacks Red Sonja 2. We have Spider-Man vs. Predator. We have, and that's what we know. Like, we could easily get more announcements as the year goes on and get more crossovers that way. Like, yeah, I have no doubt in my mind that that's just what we'd have so far for 2025 in terms of crossovers. I have no doubt in my mind we're probably going to get more more announced throughout the year, and we're probably going to have more news on in the pipeline. Remember, there's also crossovers going on that are essentially, there are crossovers going on right now that are going into 2025 and will come out in trade. Like, again, Black Panther versus Predator, that's getting its trade in 2025. We have Naruto Ninja Turtles, which is going on right now, will go into 2025 and get its trade then. Yeah. It's been solid. Oh, yeah. We also still have the Ultraman Marvel crossover going on, and we have the Ultraman Spider-Man crossover going on. We got shit going on everywhere, guys. It's a big fucking deal. It's a big fucking thing going on. Anyway, so as I said, this is the news regarding Sonic the Hedgehog and Justice League, or as it's also being called, Sonic DC Universe. This comic is going to be the first Sonic crossover that we've gotten since Sonic Mega Man. So this is kind of a big deal. It also feels like whenever a crossover wants to happen, 9 times out of 10, it always feels like the Justice League get first dibs. Like, the DC Universe always gets first dibs when it comes to crossovers. My point being, like, when Power Rangers got its first crossover, it was with the Justice League. When the Monsterverse wanted to cross over, it was with the Justice League. So it seems like if you want to get your foot in the door in terms of intercompany crossovers these days, you have to go to you got to go crossover with DC and the Justice League and all them. So yeah, I know a lot of people, myself included, are still hoping for a Sonic Ninja Turtles crossover. That's been the one everyone's been, and their mother's been asking from IDW, is a Sonic Ninja Turtles crossover. And I imagine if this does well, if this comic does do well, I will imagine that that's probably on the table next. Because like, you're doing a Naruto Ninja Turtle crossover, and if this crossover does well, which I imagine it will, the next crossover will be. The next crossover will probably be Ninja Turtles and Sonic. I might be wrong, but that feels like that could be easily the case. Anyway, so we also, now that we actually have a story, we got an announcement of what the story is. It's going to be from what I understand, it's going to be a 4-issue miniseries, and here is the story of the comic. The story is going to be that Darkseid has entered the world of the Sonic universe in order to find a great power, which is obviously the Chaos Emeralds. And now the Justice League have followed after Darkseid and are now teaming up with the rest of the Sonic cast in order to do battle with Darkseid. So it is really cool that Darkseid is the big villain. I'm always down for some Darkseid action. I will say that, like, hopefully we get some other team ups here and there. Now, I'm not the biggest Sonic guy, but I am kind of excited at the idea of, like, Sonic and the Justice League meeting. For, like, who else I would like to see, I know they talked about, like, certain pair-ups, like, of course, we gotta have a race between Sonic and Flash. That just has to happen. We need a Sonic-Flash race. That you just can't do a comic like this without doing that. They've also said, like, a Knuckles and Superman team-up, or Green Lantern with Silver, Batman and Shadow. yeah. And it makes me wonder, like, what else could we see? Personally, I really hope we get, like, Robotnik meeting Lex Luthor, or better yet, Dr. Ivo, who's the creator of the Amazo robots. I would actually love to see a Robotnik-made Amazo. I would love to see if Robotnik can make his own Amazo android. That'd be really cool to see. I would also love to see Grodd involved. Obviously, you have they're all a bunch of animals, so having Grodd here would be really cool. For other the thing of it is that these crossovers are kind of a big deal. They are very much like treated these days as like a massive deal, and yeah. I'm curious. Now, the writer, on the other hand, does have me a little worried. I am a little concerned about the writer, and that's being Ian Flynn. Ian Flynn is the current writer of the Sonic books right now, from what I understand, and Ian Flynn has a lot of favoritism. And I've seen it before in a lot of his other books, is that especially when he wrote the Transformers and My Little Pony crossovers, is that he clearly had like also a very, very loose understanding of the characters, especially on the Transformer side. It really didn't feel like he had like a solid feel. So I don't know if Ian Flynn, to my knowledge, I don't think he has written anything for DC Comics. So it's a little worrisome, and the point with crossovers and how you make probably the best crossovers is give a lot of love to both ends of the property. I've seen too many times beforehand of a crossover being, very biased in which writer likes what. Like, I've seen that before in multiple crossovers where the writer doesn't really have a solid understanding of one property and shows a lot of favoritism to the other. Multiple times. The best way you can do a crossover is give a lot of love to both properties at the same time. That's really that's really what you, honest to God, need for these crossovers to really function, to be really good. So that's kind of my one concern right now, is Ian Flynn is he's very biased in writing. But yeah. Other than that, I am willing to give it the benefit of the doubt, and I will be reading this in trade. As most of you guys know, I don't read stuff single issue. It's just, it takes up too much space, and also it also reads better as a one coherent story. But yeah, so you guys tell me in the comments below. What do you guys think of all these new updates for the Justice League Sonic crossover? Are you guys excited? Are you guys not? What do you think of Darkseid getting his hands on the Chaos Emeralds? Yeah, just comment below what else you want to see in terms of characters meeting. Yeah, just comment below, let me know. Other than that, hope you all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.